Hello, I'm Richie Humley, and I'm here with Dr. Dan Koger as part of our weekly First Generation Friday feature. Dr. Koger, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, yeah, I come from a small town, Sonoma, California, Northern California. And as I said in the email that I sent along, uh, I was very fortunate, grew up in a family that valued education, even though my grandfather, my mother's side, had only finished the eighth grade. He was one of the smartest men I ever knew. And neither my mother nor my father nor any of the other people in my family had gone to college before, but my mother made it clear to me from infancy that her expectation was that I would go to college. And that's in fact what I did.
So, where did you attend college?
Well, I went to several places. We never had a lot of money, so I had to get by as best I could. I graduated from high school in Southern California in the Los Angeles area in 1961. And I was very fortunate that they have then and do now have an outstanding community college system. They called it junior college in those days, community college now, and you could take their first 2 years of lower division coursework. And I remember when I enrolled at East Los Angeles College in September of 1961, right out of graduating from Rosemead High School, my tuition fees for classes was a little over $9 and about $15 for books. Things have changed a lot since then.
Just a
But
little.
I would also say that I ended up going to higher education for just under 16 years with all the different courses and graduate work and things that I ended up doing. And some of the best teaching that I had in all those years was at East Los Angeles College. They were wonderful teachers and dedicated people.
So, when you were a student, did you participate in any extracurricular activities, clubs, or things like that on
Well, I was
campus?
always going to be a journalist, and my head was totally focused on that. I went to East LA, and then I went out to another junior college out in the, toward Pomona, and then went to LA State for a semester, then went to the University of Missouri. So I didn't have a lot of extra time. I was working part time at the Los Angeles Times sports department, taking high school sports results and generally preparing to be a newspaper reporter. And I was able to get into the University of Missouri School of Journalism, and most of my extracurricular activities had something to do with working for the school newspaper, or in the case of the University of Missouri, publishing a daily newspaper as part of the journalism school.
So, think back to your first year that you were in college and talk to me a little bit about what that was like.
Oh, it was absolutely a thrill. I was I started off by getting mononucleosis, knocked me out for about 3 weeks, but I got back and I loved my English classes, and I had a history class, and I had an anthropology class, and these things just took me to whole new places, and I loved to read about these things. I learned theories in anthropology about us and them and the others and tribes and languages and cultures, and English, and learned about Shakespeare and all the great writers, and it's just opened up a whole new world, and I've been thrilled about it and taking classes pretty much all my life since then.
So, what was the biggest challenge that you faced while you were at school?
Oh, just keep moving forward toward my goal of getting a bachelor's degree. I hadn't started thinking I would go to the University of Missouri Journalism School. In fact, when I first started, I didn't even know it existed. But through one of the reporters that I worked with at the Los Angeles Times, who was a recent graduate of the University of Missouri, I was encouraged to apply there, and I did, and I started there in September of 1964. I had enough money for my biggest challenge. I had enough money to pay for my first semester of fees. Out-of-state tuition at the University of Missouri then was $150, considerably more than that now, to say the least. And I had enough money for my first semester's tuition there and my first semester in the dormitories, and I got by with it and got jobs. I waited on tables. I got scholarships. I got loans, and 2 years later, I had my degree.
So, you shared with us that you were a first generation college student. What did it mean to you to be the first
Oh,
in your family?
it was the moon, and my mother was so proud of me. Still a big deal to this day. You know, you get a shot at it, and I was always concerned that this was a one-way street, and if I dropped out, I did drop out for one semester to work at a daily newspaper, but I considered that an applied class, looked like kind of like a paid internship, and I knew that I was going to go back, and I had to stay focused on it, And once I got that degree, I knew that once I had that, it could never be taken away, and it's up on the wall.
And it sounds like your parents obviously were very supportive of you going
They
to
were
school.
supportive emotionally. They supported what I was doing. They didn't have any money. I think my parents gave me a total of $200 in through college, and the rest of it was just me pushing forward, making friends, getting help here, getting help there, and through the loan programs, and I got a pretty nice scholarship. I got an internship. Was a semester at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I learned a lot about newspaper reporting from that, and I just kept going. I didn't worry about it. I just got it done.
So, what was the main factor that ultimately led you to succeed and attain that degree?
Just pure determined. Well, at first it started with love of learning. I really like to read. I really did to this day. I love an intellectual challenge. I've already got some ideas in mind for possible sabbatical leave and do some research in Italy on teams and the family influence of family communication on teams in Italy. I'm real excited about pursuing that. Uh, so just a continuing interest in wanting to learn what's out there, and a general understanding that if my life was going to do what I wanted it to do, I was going to need a college degree. That was my ticket to how I wanted to live my life. Wasn't going to make me a better person than anyone else. It wasn't going to make me any smarter than anyone else. It just meant that was a credential that let me get jobs in newspapers, and it's, as it turned out, other jobs as well, and then on, of course, the graduate school and other opportunities along the way. But mostly just pure determination that's how I wanted to live my life, and I wanted to continue learning.
And our last question today is, if you could offer just one piece of advice to our other first generation college students, what would that be?
Don't give up. Stay on it. There'll be setbacks. I was very fortunate that people in my family understood what I was doing, but if that's not always the case, but pursuing a college degree is a worthy and admirable thing to do. It doesn't, as I said earlier, it doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you a smarter person. It doesn't do anything except give you the personal satisfaction that you had an objective, a worthwhile objective, and you got that done over a period of years.
Well, we'd like to thank you for your time today, Dr. Koger, and would ask everyone to join us every week for First Generation Friday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.